cool. Today, I welcome to the Exeqtive Suite Afrobeat artists who you may have seen performing at the Essence Festival 25th anniversary, or even his collab with Apple series, Crazy, all the way from Nigeria. And before I even say his name, his energy is like no other. AyoInMotion, what's going on?
I'm good, DJ Exeqtive. Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
No problem, no problem. So how did you just jump straight into the name?
Yeah.
AyoInMotion. How did you come about with the name?
Well, so when I first started as a creative, as an artist, my background was in spoken word poetry, right?
Okay.
And poetry in motion. So like back then, they used to kind of call me the Nigerian nightmare, and I just and it was cool, but also felt like for people who weren't aware of like the origin of that name, which I didn't give myself. Somebody gave it to me as an artist because it was very similar to this football player that used to play for the Kansas City Chiefs. They used in the 70s, I guess. They used to call me Nigerian Nightmare. But I'm like, you know what? I feel like Nigerian Nightmare. I'm not always menacing lyrically. Sometimes there's a softness to it. There's a vibe. And motion just felt more relevant. Like I'm always moving. I'm always getting it. I'm always like, how can we push forward? Can my music move you? Can I make you move physically? Can I make you move soulfully? So motion felt perfect. So I just switched it to AyoInMotion and we never looked back.
Okay. So listen, I like my listeners to know more about the artist. You know what I'm saying? And as you're growing in this industry, I know you've been doing your thing, but as you're growing in this industry, can you tell us how you got started? And was there like a particular artist that made you say, you know what, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a really good question. So for me, I've always been a orator, right? A wordsmith. I've always loved words. I always use words. People used to like kind of say you're going to be a lawyer or maybe you're going to be a preacher. We don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to use your words, right? But then I started to find my voice, especially when I moved from Lagos, Nigeria to Flint, Michigan. So when people ask me where I'm from, I always say I'm from Lagos and I'm from Flint because I came of age in Flint, Michigan. And this was before the water crisis. So, basically like as I just start to find my voice right, I was just like, yo, it's music for me. It's activity, it's poetry, it's art. And as you know, as an artist, what happens is that like people ask you, when did you start? Where did you know? You never really know. You just kind of flow. You just let your creative talents carry you. It's not like a conventional thing. Like I studied for 4 years to become a lawyer. Nah, you just flow. You perfect your craft. You find ways to be technically better. You perform with a live band like I do, and you learn things you need to learn. You become a better songwriter. As you rap and you flow, you find your cadence. As you sing a little bit, you find your vocal ability. This is what the training happens, right?
Yes.
And I don't mean it's like an actual somebody sat you down to teach you. You just learn from different stages in life. You meet people, you see things, you pick up, you drop this, you move that. And then eventually you kind of become a seasoned artist and you're always growing. If you meet an artist that's no longer growing, they're dead or their music.
Yes, I agree 100%. So talking about growing and moving, the Essence Festival 25th anniversary, how was that experience? Tell us about that.
That was amazing. That was actually the last Essence Music Fest that they had live before the pandemic.
Yes.
And that was 2019. And if you've ever been to Essence Fest, you know it's Black royalty.
It's one of those.
Excellent. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I'm talking about, I'm meeting different people, man. And all of them saying like, yo, you're doing your thing, keep doing it. So how did I get to Essence? Essence was amazing because they reached out to me like, yo, we like what you're doing. We want to bring you on. And they put me on one of their stages. And, being able to share, stages with the likes of Nas and Mary J. Blige and Michelle Obama, all of these people.
Yes.
And so it's like, oh, I'm on the bill with these names. So that's already feels like, okay, I'm doing something right, I hope. Yes. And then things got crazy because the Grammys was there. And they pulled me and they're like, yo, we want to interview you. What's up? And I'm like, me? Yeah, let's go. And it just grabbed me in and I'm getting interviewed right next to 𝓃𝓱𝓮 𝓔𝓮, right? And they're asking me questions about how I feel while I'm here. There's actually a video about it somewhere. I'm going to send it to you. The Grammys
definitely
wrote an article. So Essence was amazing. And it just felt excellent to be able to introduce some people for the first time to the Afrobeat sound. Because they were just like, we're curious.
Yes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was gonna talk to you about the interview. Definitely send me the video because I haven't seen the video footage, but I've seen some of the Grammy interview. That was definitely dope. So talking about that and being around all of those stars, and even opening for like people like 𝓣𝓱𝓮 𝓢𝓾𝓲𝓽𝓮. Do you ever feel any pressure when your name is next to these people? And let me know about that.
No, I tell you what. So from opening for 𝓤𝓚 𝓔𝓁𝓮, opening for Egyptian at South by Southwest, opening for Davido, opening for Tenny the Entertainer, I would say, like, I'll be honest, I don't feel pressure. What I always feel is I feel like an obligation to live up to my name.
Yes.
It's like those who know me, they came to rock with me. Because a lot of times when I've opened for these people, there are people in the audience who know me, right? I'm still the underdog, but there are people who know me. And then there's a lot of people who don't know me. So it's like this obligation, like I have to come correct for my people, but I also have to make everybody here who came in that doesn't know me walk away asking, who's that guy, man, with the funky hair? Who's that guy that's always on stage? Who's that guy with all that energy? Like, I need you to ask questions about me. So if you see me on stage and don't ask questions, I didn't do my job that day. So I wouldn't say it's pressure in the way people would think about pressure and anxiety. It's more pressure in the sense in which, yo, it's game time. You've been practicing for this. You've been training for this. Go out and show off.
That's it. Yes, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. So, you've been around a lot of artists. I really want to narrow down to the Afrobeat artists. Has any Afrobeat artist that you could name given you any great advice that you could think of?
Yeah, for sure. So an artist I know by the name of 𝓤𝓷 𝓔𝓁𝓮, I've chatted with him a few times. He's a good friend. He's really, really cool. He actually had one of the top singles this year called Feelings. I like the way.
Yes.
No, come you just, shout out to Pope.
Yes.
Always the homie. And, like just having conversations with someone like that who, holds me down, just always about like sometimes, I think I was messaging him the other day and he was like, yo, it's just another milestone for the conversation. It's sort of like, yo, we're just going to keep going. And I think that's sort of the same approach I have is like all these things, like people are like, oh, you opened for that video. What was that like?
Yes.
We're at this. And I'm like, thank you very much. But we're not even where we're trying to go.
We're not.
Like we're just scratching the surface. So I think sometimes having this myopic view, very, very specific and just tunnel vision, like what is the goal and don't get distracted. And something one of my friends always says to me, it's one of my favorite quotes, Joel, he says, man, if you don't know where you're going, every distraction can look like an opportunity. So for me, it's like, I'm not trying to be distracted. I know what the opportunity is. I know what I'm going for. Every other thing is just not, man, but it's not the bell. That's how I feel.
Gotcha. I love it. Now, listen, let's talk about you, Ayo.
Yeah.
What's your sound? What's, when someone hears your name, AyoInMotion, what do you want them to think? What do you want them to take away from that?
That's a very good question, DJ Exeqtive, and thank you for asking that. I think, we artists, right? There's always this fight about labels. You want to be put in a label in a box. You sound like this, you sound like that. And like, no, I sound like me, I sound like, but of course, there's always going to be comparisons and things that people are like, oh, this reminds me of a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Now, I'm not going to say that I sound like any quintessential artist that is out there, but there's influences and there's usually feelings like, well, if you like A, then you like B. If you like her, then you might like me. So for me, I feel like if you like, someone like say Yemi Alade, who performs with a lot of energy, right?
Yes.
You probably will like me because my live show is filled with energy and dancing and moving around. Then if you like someone like Tems, I don't sound like Tems, but my voice and my approach is very distinctive, right?
Distinctive, yes.
And so that's sort of like, okay, if you like these people, you probably like me. If you like 𝓤𝓷, you probably like me because I'm very hip hop and lyrically inclined. You know what I mean? Like there's verses and intricacies and some form of dopeness. And then when I think about like what is contemporary, what are you hearing right now on the radio and you might connect with, I always feel like some comparisons to old Kanye in terms of like thinking about how can I innovate sound? How can I like take people
something different
and so forth. And lastly, I would say this new sound where you're going to hear with Omi, what I did was I took all the different sounds I've been meshing together and said, how can we like really sit in a pocket? And if we're going to sit in a pocket, what is the pocket of that sound going to be? And Omi is soulful, right? It's like Afro pop with a little bit of soul inside of it. There's storytelling. It's like, yo, this is a journey. Come with me on this journey. And that's why it's called Omi. I say, when you rock with water, let it flow through your body. The feeling is better when it rocks your body. So I just always want you to feel like I'm in a vibe when I step into this guy's sound. I could be on the beach. I could be in the bathtub. I could be walking in a New York City subway. Whatever it is, you are stepping into a vibe. And that vibe is going to carry you soft. It's not aggression. It's not rah, rah, rah. It's just easy motion.
Nice.
Easy motion.
And now, everyone, Omi, He's talking about his single. That's his brand new single, everyone. Own Me. Now, since you broke it down to everyone, I know you got some kind of visuals coming. Can you tell us or break down the visuals before we even really get to officially see it?
Listen, DJ Exeqtive, the thing about it is this, like, you know how you always like, you want to hype things up to hype it up. I want to be completely honest and humble with you. Nothing I'm saying about the visuals for Own Me is hype. It's all true. It is beautiful. It is like, for me, it's colors, like hues. You see blues, right? Think about all the waters, all the colors of water. Blue, light blue, sky blue, teal. It's very, very colorful. You see me rocking this crazy hair. I know it's crazy right now, but it's even crazier in Own Me. You get me? There are three goddesses, by the way, three beautiful Black women, the goddesses. There's a main goddess, and I'm like, she's the patch. She represents water, and I'm trying to get to her, like, take me to the water. And then there's these two demi goddesses, really, really beautiful and inspiring and enchanting. And they're like, you want to go to the promised land? Follow me. So I follow them, right? And we shot it in Central Park. Can you believe that? Central Park actually has falls in it. People don't know that Central Park has waterfalls.
Yeah,
waterfalls, man. And we shot it.
And shot it right there. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so think about colors. Think about beautiful Black people. Think about storytelling. Think about water. Think about ease. Think about flow. Think about costume, like wardrobe. Think about style. All of that essence. I'm gonna tell you, my hashtag, my @ is AyoInMotion. If you watch the Own Me video and you're like, yo, he was just hyping this for rubbish, DM me. I will repost your DM publicly and say, yo, am I lying, y'all? Here's the video. Am I lying? And I dare you to do that. Not because I mean that in a negative way. I just mean that in a way like I am very, very confident about what
you do. Yes.
There's an intentionality. I'm gonna tell you one thing we did. We did a mood board for this, right? We picked the different colors. We had to sew new attire for it, right?
Put it to work.
Exactly, right? Like, so it wasn't just like, let's just chill in the cut, find a studio and shoot the video. We worked, like, we started shooting. We got together at 3 a.m. From 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., makeup and hair for 4 hours.
Wow.
7 to 3:30. Are you seeing what I'm saying? That's a over 11-hour shoot in one day. So I'm just excited to bring this to the wall. The conversation around the culture when we talk about creative direction, when we talk about colors, when we talk about showing Black people on screen glowing, when we talk about people who do our hair that fits our style, when we talk about feeling proud, like, yo, that's us on screen. We did that. That's what Own Me is about, man. It's about storytelling and softness and colors and just, yo, take it easy. Don't be anxious. No anxiety. Just go with the flow.
Okay. So I know this is just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg. Can you tell us what else you have coming for us in the future? And do you have any collabs that you could maybe throw 1 or 2 out there that you could talk about early?
No, I appreciate you asking me that question. So Own Me is the evolution of a sound that I've been working on. There's a single coming up called Love You Better in the Future. It's going to drop. I was previewing it for a friend the other day. Just think good vibes, think easy motion, think about like, yo, this just makes me feel good. And then think about storytelling. So it's like, I want people to feel good, but I want to drop intricate stories in there. Like, for example, in Own Me, I have this line where I say, goddess of I call her Yemaja, the by heart call her Yemaya, goddess of the water, carry us to safety, leading revolutions like we did in Haiti, right? So I'm talking about Yemaja and the goddess of the water, and you're like, oh, I'm going with that, but I'm also dropping the essence of like the revolution in Haiti. So little gems, but it's not being thrown over your head. I'm not beating you over it. I'm just like, relax, just ease into it. I'm gonna pilot this shit. Just trust me, and let's get to where we're going. So it's a beginning of a sound, and I'm very excited to keep coming back and previewing these sounds with you, and I appreciate the love you're showing me today.
No problem, no problem. Can you please just give everyone all the platforms where they can find you?
Sure, you can find me everywhere, anywhere you can find music. So obviously Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. I really want to encourage you to follow me, AyoInMotion, spelled correctly, AyoInMotion, on Instagram and Spotify. And here's why: when you follow me on Spotify and Apple Music, when Own Me drops, you'll know, because they will alert you, right? And then if you follow me on Instagram, when the visuals come out, you see it. And then you can see if everything I'm saying really fits into the vibe we're talking about. But I'm gonna tell you something, DJ Exeqtive. Look, listen, there's a lot of people who are listening to Afro beats for the first time in America, right? You know, they've heard the
Still to
drug
this
bars
day.
with Juana. They're listening to Thames right now with Wizkid. You know, we don't need no that about me. Everybody's just loving it,
And,
right?
and right now, if I'm saying it correctly, CK.
Yeah, CK, love one team. Yeah.
Right now,
All
yep.
right. So much love to all those people. But what you have to understand is as people step into a sound, you know how it is, right? When you first step into a sound, it's about, okay, who are the biggest names in that sound? But then as you start to go deeper, you start to discover gems. And I have to humbly say, I'm trying to be one of those gems. So all I ask is, you know, vibe with the music and then let's go on a story together. And then you can discover what really makes this musical genre really special and powerful.
Yes. Yes, I love it. Man, listen, thank you for stopping by the Exeqtive Suite. Can you please introduce to the people your new single, Owe Me?
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and lovers, haters, good people, bad people, we're all here together. I am very, very excited to take you on this journey. I want you to let go of that anxiety. I want you to let go of that heaviness. And I just want you to be like Bruce Lee said, be like water. I want you to flow like water and let Owe Me take you away.
That's it, right here on the Exeqtive Suite.